We're connecting over here. We are connected with that. All right. We are connected here and we are connected there. Hit the go live button right here. All right. Divine Rising, everybody. Today is, well, every day is a special day, but today is exceptionally special because, and we're going to get into that. All right. So, again, Divine Rising to everybody. Let me go ahead and do what I normally do every morning. And if you are tuning in with me, let me know where you are tuning in from. Okay, let me calm that down. Let me know where you're tuning in from on this morning. Let me know where you are tuning in from this morning. And of course, I am Shakita and I am tuning in from the great state of Texas in the green room, right? All right, in the green room. So I'm going to go ahead and get this shared out as usual. So just bear with me just a moment. So if you are sitting here and you are watching, shout out a good morning, divine morning, great morning, blessed morning, whichever greeting that you use. I take it all right. So let me get this shared to the live. No, to groups. Divine morning to whoever just showed up. Divine rising to you. Just bear with me just a moment. I'm just getting this shared out to my pages real quick. Let me try to be intentional here. Be trying to be intentional about what I be doing. We trying to remain intentional. Let me say that. Okay. One more. And it's always do it on this third one. All right. So divine rising to you on this morning. If you are tuning in with me, let me know where you're tuning in from. And I don't see who you are, but thank you for being here. All right. So divine morning to you, as I was stating. And today, like I said, it's a great day. It's always a great day. But we're going to be talking about becoming before arriving and the greatest milestone. Oh, before I get in that, let me go ahead and say the subtitle. The greatest milestone isn't another year of life. It's becoming more aligned with who you are or who you were created to be. And so if anybody would love to come online with me, as you can see, there is a comment in below. Below is a comment below where you can join live with me. Just click it, meeting.com/Quiet Queens Builder Lab. And you can come live with me. Same over here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. There's only one page that doesn't have it. And eventually, when Facebook will give me the option, the opportunity to drop it, I will do that. But currently, right now, they don't. So, with that being said, we're just going to go ahead and tap into this morning live. So, birthdays often cause us to reflect on what we've accomplished. And today, I'd like to, let's see, hold on, let me fix this. And so today, I'd like to reflect on something different. Who we are becoming inside Quiet Queens Academy. We believe lasting transformation doesn't begin with achievement, it begins with identity. And this morning, we're talking about why becoming matters more than arriving and how every season of life is preparing you for the woman you're becoming or you're continuing to become. And so today's Quiet Queens principle: identity shapes every destination before you ever arrive there. So let's get into this live. And again, Divine Rising Quiet Queens. And today is a little different for me. It is my Be Earth Day. Be Earth Day. It's the Earth Day, right? So, and birthdays naturally invite us to think about time, right? How old we are, what we've accomplished, what we haven't accomplished yet. But this morning, I'd like to ask a different question, right? What if the most important measure of your life isn't how much time has passed, right? But who you're becoming or who you become during that time. So inside of Quiet Queens Academy, we believe identity always comes before activity. And so today isn't just about another year, it's about another layer of becoming. So we're going to get this connecting. We're going to connect. We're going to connect here in just a second. And of course, if you're tuning in with me, let me know where you're chiming in from. So as I reflect on today, I realized something. There are things I prayed for years ago that are part of my everyday life now. And it's just amazing. Sometimes we miss that. Things that we prayed for years ago, actually, we are living it. We are living in that answered prayer. And there are dreams I still haven't reached, right? There's dreams that we haven't reached. And years ago, I would have focused on what hadn't happened yet. And so today, I find myself much more grateful for who I've become along the journey because the woman I am today think differently, leads differently, builds differently, and that's a gift worth celebrating. And so y'all know what? I'm going to celebrate me. I celebrate me every day. Anyway, it's not just one particular day. And I like how Prince put it. We only have one birthday. So it's, as my nephew say, born day. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the Quiet Queens principle. Identity shapes every destination before you ever arrive there. If your identity doesn't grow with your vision, eventually your vision will outgrow your capacity to sustain it. And so let's get into my first point of today. And I just cannot stand this thing keeps just bouncing all over the place. But anyway, so becoming is more important than arriving. We spend so much time chasing milestones that we sometimes overlook the transformation happening along the way. And so, in my perspective, when I think about my own journey, I'm grateful for the goals I've reached, but I'm even more grateful for the perspective I've gained. And y'all, I have gained so much perspective. Okay. The patience, the discernment, the clarity, those are things no achievement could ever, hear me, ever replace. And so let me give you something to reflect on. If you could compare yourself to, if you compare yourself to who you were 5 years ago, what has changed within you? What part of your growth deserves to be acknowledged today? And let me state that again. If you compared yourself to who you were 5 years ago, past tense, what has changed within you? And what part of your growth deserves to be acknowledged today in the now, right? Right now. So, and if you're comfortable with sharing, let us know in the comments. So, as we begin appreciating who we are or who we are becoming, oh, that's a tongue timer for me. We naturally start looking at time differently because growth isn't always visible on the calendar, right? I like my calendar, not the physical one, but the digital one. Anyway, so every season is preparing you, right? Some seasons feel productive, others feel quiet, but both have purpose. And looking back, I realized that I've many seasons I once thought were delays were actually preparation. generations. And can't or couldn't for the most part, I couldn't always see it in the moment, right? But clarity of revealing itself over time. And so today I am so grateful for the seasons I didn't understand while I was living them. That's so interesting to me. But here's another thing that you can reflect on, right? Is there a season you once resisted that you know or you now recognize prepared you? And what might your current season be teaching you? And I don't know, I gotta fix that. That's annoying. Give me just a second if I can. Okay, so let me ask that question again. And it's doing it again. So let me ask that question again. Is there a season you once resisted that you know or you now, I can't get my words together, that you now recognize prepared you? Is there a season you once resisted that you now recognize prepared you? And what might your current season be teaching you? And so when we stop resisting the season we're in right now, something beautiful happens. We stop chasing someone else's timeline. Let me say it again. When we stop resisting the season we are in right now, which again is something beautiful happens. We stop chasing someone else's timeline and start honoring our own journey. And I tell you right now, I stopped doing that. I stopped. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's not even worth it. So alignment is worth celebrating. Success isn't only about reaching goals. Hear me, it's not. It's about becoming increasingly aligned with who you truly are. Again, we're talking about ourselves, right? We're reaching deep within ourselves and knowing who we are, identifying who we are, identifying what we want, right? And so in today has a if today has a reminder, oh, so if today has reminded me of anything is this. So today has reminded me of this. I don't want to simply celebrate another year. I want to celebrate living more intentionally. And that's what I do. I live intentionally. Everything that I choose or decide to do, I intentionally do it. And reason behind that is because I finally identified who I am, right? So it's intentionally. So again, building with greater clarity, leading with greater peace, and continue to become the woman I know I am called to be. And that's the celebration that matters most to me. And here's a little reflection for you. What part of your life feels more aligned today than it did a year ago? How can you celebrate your own growth instead of waiting for a milestone? And so here's today's Quiet Queens integration. Today's conversation wasn't really about birthdays. It was about identity because identity influences every decision we make. It shapes the way we build, the way we lead, the way we respond to challenges. When identity becomes clear, structure becomes simpler, clarity becomes stronger, and alignment becomes more natural. And life begins feeling less like something we're trying to prove and more like something we're intentionally creating. And so Many people believe I'll celebrate when I finally arrive. So inside Quiet Queens Academy, we see it differently. What if becoming is the celebration? And what if every lesson, every challenge, every season has already been shaping the woman you're becoming? And maybe the greatest accomplishment isn't something you've achieved. Maybe it's who you have become while pursuing it. And so here's a practical integration for you. All right. So today, instead of making a list of everything you still want to accomplish, write down 3 ways you've grown over the last year. Not what you've done, who you've become. And that's the foundation you'll continue building upon. And so, in my closing reflection, I'll leave you with this question. If someone met the woman you were, let me say this right. If someone met the woman you are becoming 5 years from now, what would she thank today's version of you for choosing? That was tongue tied. So let me say it again. If someone met the woman you becoming 5 years from now, what would she thank today's version of you for choosing? Take that question with you today. And so, since today is my birthday, right? I'd love to celebrate a little. I like to celebrate a little differently. So instead of wishing me a happy birthday, I'd love for you to share one way you've grown as a woman over the past year. And let's celebrate becoming together because that's what Quiet Queens Academy has always been about. And so, again, drop it, share it if you choose to. I'll see you on today is what? Thursday. I'll see you on tomorrow. You all have a divine, beautiful day.